according to Diddy's defense, what he's saying is that his mental capacity to commit the crimes while he was wasted is part of why he's saying, he should not be charged in these crimes. He even has a doctor who is lined up to testify. Now, prosecutors have filed their opposition to this line of testimony. Basically, they're saying he has a mental condition bearing on the issue of guilt. So I don't know what he's trying to pull here.
Right. But which crime is he saying he did?
I guess what he's saying is the effects of the drugs and alcohol on his memory and cognitive function. They're saying his defense is trying to say because of that, he shouldn't be held liable for what happened. So I don't know. This should be interesting to see how this plays out. Prosecutors also want to block testimony of a forensic video expert that says that video was basically altered. That's what Diddy was
Which video? The Cassie
with
video?
Cassie, yes. Yes. So the trial starts, by the way, in just a week. So we're getting ready for that to happen.
They'll all be attacked on cross-examination. Their character will be impugned. They will attack the victims for not coming forward until Cassie Ventura came forward. How do you fix that? You find an outcry witness. What is an outcry witness? An outcry witness is someone the victim told about their at the time. So 10 years ago, I told you Sean Combs raped me at this party. I told you that then, but I never made a police report. That adds credence, credibility to the victim's statement. So a lot of victims are going to be attacked because they continued in a seemingly friendly relationship with Combs. A lot of women do that. Your boss makes advances on you unwanted. What do? Quit and starve? There's a lot of reasons women maintain a relationship with the rapist. So we may lose credibility on a couple of witnesses, but the sheer number of them, I find it hard to believe that a jury will choose to disbelieve all of these ladies and choose to believe Sean Combs.
So it looks like they're going to try and say that Diddy's mental capacity could not make it possible for him to commit these crimes, claiming that maybe drugs or alcohol could have been at fault. Apparently, a couple of weeks ago, the prosecution offered Diddy a plea deal, which he turned down. We don't know the details of what that plea deal entailed, but he said he's not taking it. This is coming after they've added additional charges, like the second superseding indictment. You know that Cassie video where you see Diddy dragging her in a hotel from 2016? The judge says that it can be included after Diddy's defense team had been trying to have it not included. So according to People magazine, they said prosecutors recently filed a motion disputing any testimony that might show that Sean Diddy Combs didn't have, quote, the mental capacity to commit the crimes he's accused of because of the effects of drugs or alcohol. The motion filed on April 27th references apparent testimony from a psychiatrist on behalf of the defense and asked the judge to prevent his testimony during Combs' trial.
Sean Diddy Combs looking to suppress evidence in his federal trial. Senior investigative correspondent Aaron Katursky is back with the story. Good morning again, Aaron.
And to you, Michael. You'll remember federal agents from Homeland Security Investigations were hardly shy when they raided Sean Combs' opulent homes in Los Angeles and Miami, guns drawn. The jailed music mogul now argues those searches and other searches of his iCloud accounts, electronic devices, and New York City hotel room following his arrest were unconstitutional. His lawyers argue evidence obtained through those searches must be suppressed. Diddy's lawyers say the government presented a grossly distorted picture of reality when applying for the search warrants, omitting certain facts and including salacious details from an unnamed producer that were never credible. Combs has pleaded not guilty to racketeering conspiracy, sex trafficking, and prostitution charges. The defense is also arguing here his ex-girlfriend, Cassie Ventura, was a willing participant in drug-fueled sex performances called freak-offs, not coerced, as prosecutors allege. This latest challenge to his case comes 3 months before trial, and as Combs loses one of his attorneys, Anthony Rico says under no circumstances can he continue to represent Combs. He offered no details about that decision, Robin.
Okay. All right. Thanks to you, Aaron.
Combs wants that video or videos excluded from trial. And for that, we turn to his motion in limine to exclude video footage of that March 5th, 2016 incident. Motion in limine is a pretrial motion that aims at preventing evidence from coming into trial or limiting it in some way. And it starts by saying, quote, "There is no longer any dispute that the CNN footage from March 5th, 2016 at the Intercontinental Hotel offered by the government at 3 separate bail hearings is wholly inaccurate having been altered, manipulated, sped up, and edited to be out of sequence. As indicated below, CNN paid Redacted, don't know who this person is, Redacted, for footage, copied that footage in unknown ways, presented that footage out of order, and destroyed the original. Accordingly, all the footage from CNN is inaccurate and inadmissible. As for the 2 items of footage filmed by an iPhone 6, those pieces of footage are inaccurate and inadmissible as well for the reasons set out below. Now
Let's talk about the showdown in the courtroom over the bombshell video allegedly showing Sean Diddy Combs beating his then girlfriend Cassie Ventura.
Now, Diddy's lawyers are arguing to exclude the footage from the rapper's upcoming sex trial. Legal contributor Brian Buckmeyer joins us now with more on what this could mean for the high-profile case. So good to have you. Okay, so they want this video left out. What's their argument for this?
So Mark Agnifilo, Sean Combs' attorney, is arguing that, you probably hear this phrase, this is not a true and accurate representation of what the video depicts. He's saying a number of arguments that the CNN had taken this video and sped it up. They kind of chopped it up into this montage, and it's not accurate. He's also making the allegation that the original video no longer exists. And so because this isn't accurate, the jury shouldn't see it. And according to Diddy's attorneys, because the original doesn't exist or it's been tampered with, no video such as this should be presented to the jury.
So what does CNN say about these claims?
So CNN has come out and said, we did not alter it. We did not change anything. And in fact, they're saying that they do have the original as well. So on multiple levels, Sean Combs' argument kind of falls flat, because if it is sped up, and I think there is some degree of it's being sped up, if the original still exists, that can still be used as evidence against Sean Combs, not necessarily to the allegations of trafficking, RICO conspiracy, or the transportation purpose of prostitution, but to show that this is a force that it was used to keep victim number 1, who we believe to be Cassie in this video, under his control for the purpose of trafficking and this RICO conspiracy.
The allegations implicate dozens of unidentified witnesses and alleged co-conspirators around the world, and some of the key witnesses to the supposed incidents are dead. Basically meaning, how can we defend against it? The defense is not even permitted to share the identities of the individuals described in the disclosure letter with Mr. Combs until April 18th, further hampering defense counsel's ability to investigate. Collectively, these new allegations require many months, if not years, to investigate, and if admitted, would require a series of mini trials, certain to double the length of a trial the government originally said would last 3 weeks. So this is an explosive allegation that on its face, I don't know if I necessarily disagree with. If they are bringing in evidence of uncharged conduct, wouldn't the defense have an opportunity to investigate it and challenge it? It seems like they're making a point. So if this evidence is allowed in, there is a chance this could delay the trial significantly. We all know Combs wants to go to trial, but how can he properly defend himself against this in just a few weeks?
Diddy's lawyers have just filed a motion claiming that he didn't have the mental capacity to commit the crimes he's being accused of. Usher is preparing to testify against this claim and is reportedly set to be subpoenaed for the upcoming trial. This development shows that, following Cassie, even more high-profile celebrities are stepping forward to testify against Diddy. But listen to this. The judge has also denied Diddy's request to delay the trial, and now a critical piece of evidence is under investigation. This could be the turning point that brings Diddy to his knees. There's a lot to unpack here, so let's break it down.
Sean Diddy Combs' legal team is getting a little smaller. As the rap mogul's defense team prepares for his May trial on sex trafficking charges, his attorney Anthony Rico respectfully but regrettably requested to be dismissed from his role, according to documents obtained by NBC News. Rico, who is one of 6 attorneys on the case, requested in the February 21st filing to withdraw as representation because, quote, under no circumstances can I continue to effectively serve as counsel for Sean Combs, consistent with the ABA standards for criminal justice. The motion continues, quote, while I'm aware that the local rule requires that an application for withdrawal of counsel is supported and granted only upon a showing by affidavit or otherwise of satisfactory reasons for withdrawal, there are sufficient reasons related to the protections afforded by the attorney-client privilege for brevity in my application for withdrawal as counsel in this case.
So the high-powered law firm of Grubman, Shire, Masalis, and Sachs has dropped Combs as a client. Now, this is the firm of Alan Grubman, who is a very prominent entertainment lawyer that represents some very big names. The Weeknd, Madonna, Chris Brown, Paul Simon, Usher, Bruce Springsteen. In fact, by the way, Alan Grubman was inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. He actually helped found that back in the 1980s. So, gives you an idea about how big of a powerhouse this firm is. Now let's go back to Sean Combs. So the rumor circulating is that this firm did this because singer and actress Lady Gaga had threatened to leave the firm unless they parted ways with Combs. This is according to reporting by News Nation. And it's a big deal because the rapper and producer had apparently been with Grubman's firm for over 20 years. He was friends with Alan Grubman by all accounts.
Diddy's lawyers have realized there's no way to completely shield him from jail time at this point. So now they're shifting their defense strategy, claiming that Diddy was too intoxicated to understand that what he was doing was wrong. According to court documents, a motion was filed by his legal team on Sunday, April 27th, arguing that Diddy's mental capacity was significantly impaired due to the effects of drugs and alcohol. If the court accepts this motion, it could mean that Diddy essentially walks away from all the charges. But listen to this. This latest motion comes after 4 previous failed attempts to suppress key evidence or discredit expert testimonies. Diddy's attorneys had previously argued that the now infamous freak-off tapes and the baby oil recovered from his mansion were obtained illegally, claiming the search warrants used to seize them weren't valid. They wanted all of it thrown out as inadmissible. Really, the defense is running out of options, and fast.
The trial of music mogul Sean Diddy Combs, a judge has denied his request to delay the proceedings, and that means jury selection could start in just weeks. ABC's Phil Lipoff is tracking this case. Good morning, Phil.
Yeah, Gio, good morning. It looks like it's going to. Sean Combs' trial date is set to go on as expected Friday. A judge ruled Combs' criminal sex trafficking trial will begin next month as scheduled after he denied the defense's request for a 2-month adjournment. The trial is set to begin May 5th with jury selection. The judge said it was unclear why there isn't sufficient time to prepare, especially since 4 different law firms are now representing him. The judge agreed, however, to allow alleged victims to testify under pseudonyms, but one star witness, Diddy's ex, Cassie Ventura, is expected to testify under her own name. She filed, you'll remember, a quickly settled civil lawsuit against Combs. The judge agreed with a defense request to receive outtakes of interviews conducted for a documentary produced by Warner Brothers. Those interviews were conducted with potential trial witnesses. Combs appeared in Jailhouse Beige on Friday and was given a moment at the end of the hearing to communicate with his mother and one of his sons. He told them, "I love you and we're good." He has pleaded, we should mention, not guilty to all 5 federal counts and maintained his innocence in the civil suit.
Judge Arun Subramanian, however, has ruled that all submitted evidence is admissible, meaning there's now a very real chance that the infamous freak-off tapes will be played publicly during the trial. This alone could be devastating for Diddy's defense. But it gets worse. Diddy's motion to exclude the tape showing him beating Cassie has also been denied. Initially reported by CNN, the footage shows Diddy violently assaulting Cassandra Ventura and dragging her by the hair, an image that could deeply sway both the jury and public opinion. His legal team has made multiple attempts to have this video thrown out, now arguing that the footage was edited in a way that unfairly portrays Diddy in a harsher light. According to them, the original video is over 30 minutes long, and cutting it down for clarity or brevity makes it inadmissible. So far, the court isn't buying it, and that's a major blow to Diddy's already crumbling defense.
And Caitlin, let's start with you. What happened, or what has happened in court today?
It was a pretty big day in court, Connell. We actually learned that Diddy was offered a plea deal in this case, which he rejected. Not really a surprise that when one was put on the table, he said no. He has vehemently maintained his innocence this entire time. I could not see a world where he would accept any kind of plea deal. So we heard that today. The other big takeaway from court, and we are in crunch time now, just less than 2 weeks before this is going to start and go to trial. The now infamous video of Diddy and Cassie in that hotel room where he is seen allegedly attacking her will be played in court for jurors. Now, the original video, the original surveillance doesn't exist anymore. So we have a copy that was obtained by CNN. Obtained by CNN, yes. and it was taken by a cell phone video. So you're going to have the person who took the video testifying in court and independent people there that are going to authenticate it. But the jury is going to see that. The other types of evidence that they're going to see is going to be video of these alleged freak-offs, these sex parties that Diddy had. And this is going to be an important thing about jury selection.
Interesting. We're going to talk about all of that in a minute. Anything on his demeanor or anything on, from that we picked up from Diddy today?
Yeah, it was different than usual. He got into the courtroom with his pad of paper and his pen really intently ready to just take notes. And he looked back into the gallery where he usually sees a row of family members and friends, supporters of his. But when he turned around and looked in the gallery, none of his children were there today. And he visibly looked upset. Now, about 10 minutes into the hearing, his son Justin did come in and sit in the gallery. Diddy turned a second time, looked directly at him, kind of nodded, and acknowledged that his son was in the courtroom today. But you could really tell that it impacted him when he turned back and did not see any kind of friendly face, Connell.
As we peel back the layers of this case, it's becoming clear that the total number of victims could very well reach into the thousands. This staggering possibility sheds light on the real reason Diddy's legal team decided to walk away. They saw the writing on the wall. Faced with overwhelming evidence and a high-profile abuse case that's spiraling out of control, they knew there was no winning this battle. And they weren't willing to go down with him. But listen to this. Even Grubman, Shire, Meislis & Sachs, the powerhouse law firm that has represented Diddy for over 20 years, has officially dropped him as a client. That's not just a legal shakeup, it's a massive red flag. His own lawyers looked at the evidence and immediately understood Diddy is headed for prison.
And his lawyer, Mark Agnifilo, made it very clear that race is going to be front and center.
Let's switch our focus to the government. In my opinion, I'm just going to say it the way it is. No friend historically of the successful black man. Okay? None. And they start making this case, in my opinion, as a takedown of a successful black man. Here's a man who has made some of the most important businesses owned by a black man. Run, owned, created, founded. The vision was that of a black man. What have we done? We have reduced him, not everyone, but a large amount of our society, to being a monster. That should make us shake in our boots.
So, Mark Agnifilo, obviously white.
Yes.
The co-counsel is Tenny Garrigus, white. And Mark Garrigus, her dad, who we're told is going to play a significant part in this case, white.
Well, and let's remember, you're going to have at least one witness and probably a parade of witnesses of black females who are going to claim they were victimized by Diddy. And so in order to give sort of a human face to that, maybe suggest that that's not the case, that it makes a lot of sense. I mean, the jury is finding cues in every piece of evidence, but also who's representing him. And if they just have a bunch of white folks sort of defending him, all those black female alleged victims are maybe going to look like they're being targeted by his high-priced legal team.
And Diddy's attorneys are now trying to delay the inevitable by requesting yet another postponement of the trial. After 3 new victims came forward and 2 additional charges were added in a third superseding indictment, his legal team claims they need at least 2 more months to adequately prepare. But listen to this. In a surprising twist, the feds have reportedly offered Diddy a plea deal. While the specific terms haven't been made public, the fact that it came directly from federal authorities and not the prosecutors speaks volumes. It strongly suggests that Diddy may have been asked to cooperate by providing information on someone higher up or equally influential in the music industry. All signs point to another record label executive, and let's be honest, we probably all have the same name in mind.
I don't know if once you see that video of him putting his hands on Cassie Ventura. And for her to be the one to testify, and for her to be the one testifying on behalf of the prosecution, considering the fact that she was his lady, considering the fact that reportedly, she engaged in activities she otherwise would not have wanted to at the behest of him. When you consider some of the things that they're saying about him, and the fact that your ex-girl, with all the evidence in the world to come at you, one would surmise, is willing to do so for the prosecution. Ladies and gentlemen, that's not good.
All right, Cassie,
she plans to testify against Diddy at the trial, and she's going to use her name. So a lot of the women who have accused Diddy are anonymous. They're
Right.
Jane Doe
Jane Does.
or Victim 1
Or John
or 2,
Does.
or John Does. But Cassie allegedly, apparently, is going to take this stand and talk about her obviously, that tape of him beating her up at the hotel is what set off this whole thing. You know what I mean? Like, this has just made it matters so bad for Diddy. So now that she is gonna sit up there and like look him square in the eyes and talk about her side of the story, that's not great for Diddy, obviously.
No, and like I think also Cassie is a celebrity, right? Like millennials know who she was or is. She had like a booming career back in the day. So I think it also adds some extra zhuzh when you have like a well-known public figure coming forward.
Trusted public figure.
Trusted and beloved
Yeah.
too. So I think that also will hurt him. She, of course, became public. All of this went public when that video came out from CNN. So it's been revealed who she is already. And now she is not looking to conceal her name. She wants to, put it all out on the table. And yeah, yikes, it could be really bad for him.
In a last-ditch effort to shift the narrative, Diddy is now trying to frame the case as an issue of race. His legal team has argued that the prosecution is targeting him not because of the evidence against him, but because he's a successful black man. According to them, the real motivation behind the charges is jealousy and systemic bias. But listen to this. This argument is falling flat, especially in light of the overwhelming evidence, multiple victims, and mounting indictments. While systemic racism in the justice system is a very real issue, using it as a shield in a case stacked with disturbing footage, eyewitness testimony, and a growing list of accusers comes off as a desperate attempt to deflect from the facts. The public and the court aren't buying it.
Don't hit me no more. Kick in the door, waving the 4-4. All you heard was Papa, don't hit me no more. Let's go. Kick in the door, waving the 4-4. Hey, yeah.
And we want to thank you. Come here. Don't sit on the bed at night. No homo. No, just don't get close to the bed. Don't get close. But it's just like, we want to thank you for hosting the thing, man. It's been a pleasure. You didn't have to do it, and you did it.
No. I definitely didn't have to do it. I definitely didn't have to. First and foremost, I'm not getting in the bed. Shout out to him and what he did. I'm just gonna, if we can, let's just put the camera a little this way, just so we're not. I don't want my shot to even, I don't want it to come close to the bed, at all. Usher look like he fresh off a goddamn plane. I should.
Fresh off the garden stage. That's my brother right here from day one. We used to wake up and, pause, but like, check this out. Back in the days when he was like 10 and I was a little bit older, his older brother, we used to fight over the Frosted Flakes. You know what I'm saying? Before pause was invented. You know what I'm saying? But it's my brother for real. We used to actually wrestle off of the Frosted Flakes because he used to always get up early with me. Now he's one of the richest stars in the world. And
What the f*** did Puff just say? Nobody's gonna acknowledge this but me. Puff just said we used to wrestle over the Frosted Flakes. And we're streaming live. That was stupid.
The result of being around that man, Sean Puffy Combs, I don't sleep to this day. I have a problem sleeping to this day. Like, man, I'm here to work, man. I ain't sang in a week. I'm 13 years old, and I'm telling him, look, you're gonna put me in the studio, man. You got Biggie Smalls in there, you got Craig Mack in there. I'm not here to party with you. I don't want to go to the clubs. Matter of fact, I'm too young to even be in here. Why you got me in clubs? We would fight. We would tussle.
Usher is in the house. Yeah, definitely, man. Say what up. Say what up, Dr. Diddy. Say what's up. Say what's up. Say what's up. Say what's up. Hello. Hey, you know when I get you, nephew. Your nephew. Hello. Acting like that. What's up, bro? What's up, man? Say what's up. Say what's up. What's up? Get out of here. Yeah. Man, yeah. What's up? You been feeling good?
Nah, yeah, man, feeling great, man. Considering all things, I think that, it's really important that we unite right now. I was just, there's a lot of things that have happened over the last few weeks.
In the midst of all the chaos surrounding the case, even those once close to Diddy are starting to turn against him. Cassie, Usher, and Ashton Kutcher have all agreed to testify in the upcoming trial, a major blow to Diddy's defense. According to Rolling Stone, Cassie has been identified as victim 1 and is considered the central figure in the entire case. But listen to this. While Cassie is publicly stepping forward, victim 2, victim 3, and victim 4 will be testifying anonymously. Prosecutors have filed a motion to keep all exhibits that could reveal their identities sealed, citing concerns over media exposure and the potential for severe embarrassment or public harassment. This move not only underscores the sensitivity of the case, but also highlights just how many people are involved and how many are still afraid to come forward publicly.
I moved to New York City, and I lived with Sean Puffy Combs for a year.
That's the crazy thing. Now, that was L.A. Reid's idea, right? We're sending you over to something called Puffy Flavor Camp.
There you go.
To learn
Flavor Camp.
Yeah,
Flavor
that's
Camp.
what it was called. And you're going to go to Puff Daddy's. He's going
In the 90s, do you understand what that's like?
Puffy's place was like just filled with chicks and orgying like nonstop, right?
No, not really. I mean, but there, hey, it was curious. I got a chance to see some things.
Yeah, but you were 13. What were you seeing?
I went there to see the lifestyle.
Right.
And I saw it. And it was, but I don't know if I could indulge and understand what I was even looking at. It was pretty wild. It was,
So nobody
it was crazy.
tried to, some woman didn't come along.
I didn't say that.
Okay.
I didn't say that. What I did say is that there were very curious things taking place.
Uh-huh.
And I didn't necessarily understand it.
Uh-huh.
Biggie Smalls was there.
Biggie Smalls was there. Lil' Kim, Craig Mack.
All these people are hanging around.
Yeah, man. Faith Evans,
And your parents
Jodeci,
were
Mary J.
okay?
Blige. They didn't know nothing about this shit.
Oh.
I was having a good time, you know what I mean?
Does he have you doing any chores? Are you doing dishes at all? I mean, to keep you humble somewhat? Or are you just like, can you stay up till 4 a.m. with them and party?
I mean, I could. I actually stayed up longer than them.
And what kind, do you have money? What's going on?
I mean, I had like per diem. You know, I had like,
What
like
a
living.
life.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy.
14 years old. You're a dad now. Would you ever send your kid to Puffy Camp?
Hell no.
The one person Diddy likely never imagined would testify against him is Usher. As a young teen, Usher was sent to live with Diddy when he was just 13 years old. Something that at the time was framed as a career opportunity, but now it's taking on a much darker context. But it gets even more disturbing. New video footage has surfaced showing Usher at one of Diddy's infamous freak-off parties alongside Kevin Hart. In the video, Diddy can be clearly heard saying that he used to sleep with Usher when he was a child. The footage is sending shockwaves across social media, raising serious questions. How is this ever legal? And how could Usher's mother allow her son to be placed in such a situation? During his time living with Diddy, Usher was reportedly exposed to sex, wild parties, and orgies, experiences far beyond what any teenager should be subjected to. Usher himself has confirmed aspects of these allegations in a past interview with Rolling Stone, where he admitted to being introduced to adult environments at a very young age under Diddy's supervision. Now, with Usher preparing to testify, it's clear that Diddy's past is catching up with him, and the truth is far darker than anyone imagined.
About Usher, they were obtained by Radar Online, and apparently back in 2009 or 2010, he had contracted herpes and passed it on to a celebrity stylist having unprotected sex with her. He had to pay $1.1 million to that woman for severe emotional distress, and he also covered her medical bills. That case was settled back in 2012. Now, allegedly, there was a greenish discharge from his penis.
Whoa, that's a booger. You can get penis boogers? I didn't know that.
He said he went to the doctor. He was cleared of any STDs, so the woman went on and continued. Now, if I notice a greenish discharge oozing out of your penis.
This ain't Nickelodeon.
I don't know that I would
That ain't
continue.
slime. What you gonna say? I know all these kids playing with slime nowadays, but no.
I don't care who you are, okay?
Nothing green supposed to be coming out your penis.
Nah, not at all.
That's not how this works. Nope. Yellow comes out my penis. And white.
The alleged abuse Usher endured while under Diddy's influence appears to be tied to a disturbing chapter in his adult life, his 2018 herpes scandal. That year, Usher was sued by 2 women and 1 man for allegedly transmitting the virus without informing them. The lawsuit eventually ended with Usher paying $100,000, 0 cents, to have the case dismissed. Court documents from the case revealed shocking details, including a claim from one of the women that she witnessed green discharge coming from Usher's genitals. But that's not all. The roots of this alleged behavior may stretch back to Usher's childhood during his time spent living with Diddy. Rumors have circulated for years that Diddy was sexually abusing Usher during this period. The situation reportedly became so severe that Usher had to be hospitalized at one point. Former employees and insiders in the music industry, such as Gene Deal and Jaguar Wright, have come forward with chilling accounts of what supposedly went on behind closed doors at Diddy's infamous parties. Despite being a minor, Usher was frequently present at these gatherings, raising serious questions about what he may have been exposed to at such a young age.
I wish somebody would come out and just like sue him. Like, we need Usher sued. No, we do. We need a victim to come out and be honest about him. Because what I'm realizing is that he's gonna fake the funk until the victim, man. He's just gonna keep on sucking the devil's. And I don't know, you know, like with a baby, that pacifier, sometimes you gotta pull it out. You know what I'm saying? And take it away, right? When the babies used to sucking on the pacifier. That motherfucker gonna keep sucking on it until you do what? Till you take it out the mouth. Now it's gonna scream and holler, but eventually it will get used to the fact that his mouth is no longer full with that object. And that it's time to just, you know, learn how to live without it. He been sucking on Diddy's a long time.
I know, and people know, that was around that in that time that Puff and Usher did have a situation. And that situation led Usher to the hospital. Now I let Usher explain that to y'all. I let Usher tell that story. But how dare you say a man that groomed you, you gonna give him a pass?
With Usher stepping forward, damning video evidence being ruled admissible, and his legal team abandoning ship, it's clear this trial is spiraling into a full-blown disaster for one of hip-hop's biggest moguls. But this is bigger than just Diddy. It gets worse. The testimony, the freak-off tapes, the attempted cover-ups, they're pulling back the curtain on an industry that's been untouchable for decades. If you found this video eye-opening, hit that like button to expose the truth, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you don't miss the next shocking update. Because this case is far from over,